Welcome back, everybody, and today we're going to be talking about functions. So, what is a function? A function is a set of instructions that are executed and will perform certain tasks. This basically means that a function is a set of instructions that do something. And functions may or may not have an input variable and may or may not return an output. And we'll get into inputs and outputs later in the video. So why do we use functions? Well, one reason is to not repeat the same code too many times, but we can just use a function instead. And another reason is to abstract our code, meaning that we can make it so users know what the function does, but they don't have to worry about all the lines of code that make up the function. To make a function in Python, we have to use the keyword def. And when I write def, I'm telling Python that this is going to be a function. So let's make a basic function that says hello world. So first we have to name the function, and the name is really important because if someone looks at your code and sees the name of the function, they should instantly be able to tell you what the function does. So let's name this function say hello world. And then we put in open and close parentheses, and then we put in colon. And this colon says that whatever I put after the colon will be part of the function. Now let's hit enter here, and it's giving me an indent, but make sure there is an indent because we need Python to see the code as part of the function, and it only sees the code as part of the function if there is an indent. So now I'm going to type print hello world, and let's run it. So when I run it, it didn't actually give me anything. And this is because I never actually called the function, or I never said that I wanted to use the function. Python completely ignored the function altogether. And to call the function, you just say the function's name, and you have to say it after the function was defined. So now if I run it, it should give me hello world. But this is a pretty basic function. Let's try something a little bit more complex. So instead of saying, say hello world, I want the function to greet me. I want it to say my name. So the way to do this is first let's change the function's name to greet, so people will know that I'm actually asking it to greet somebody. And instead of saying world here, let's say plus name. And let's make this name into a input. So let's say this is a variable, and we can put whatever we want here. So I'm going to call this person Bob, and it's going to say hello Bob. So now if I say greet, it should say hello Bob. But there's actually an even simpler way to do this. Instead of making a new variable, we can actually pass a parameter. And let's say name here. So now if I say Bob here, it'll actually say hello Bob. And you can have as many parameters as you want. So like if I wanted to say hello Bob and Mark, I could say first plus, and I have to make an and here. So and then let's say name 2. Let's say name 1 and name 2. So name 2 and here name 1. So name 1, comma, you have to put a comma in between them so that Python knows that there's two different parameters going on here. So now I can say Bob, comma, Mark. So now it'll say hello Bob and Mark. Normally when we have functions in Python or in any computer language, we use them to use inputs, do something to those inputs, and get an output from that. So to get an output in languages, we use the return statement. And here I have a function called add, and what it'll do is it'll take num1 and num2 and add them together. And I want to store this output. So I'll say return and num1 plus num2. Now I can store this output in a variable. So let's call this variable answer, and I'll set it equal to add 1 and 2. And now if I print out answer, I will get 3. So let's print it out, and there, I have 3. One last important thing to note is that the return key also breaks out of the function. And this means that I can't write anything after the return key and expect it to be in the function. So for an example, I'll just say print out hi, and it should not print out hi because it's after the return key. So as you can see, Python didn't even look at this print hi, and it didn't even give us an exception. After the return key, it just goes straight to the next lines of code. And that's pretty much everything about functions for this video. And in the next video, I'm going to be talking about if conditions and also loops. But that's all for now. Bye everyone, and thanks for watching.